What if the highest performers you admire aren't just guarding their portfolios with iron discipline? They're protecting something even more valuable. The one asset that actually compounds their wealth over decades. This is educational content only, not medical or financial advice. Always consult your doctor and financial advisor. A simple 20-minute habit that research links to dramatically lower risk of the very things that derail high-stakes decision-making: cardiovascular decline, brain fog, and nervous system burnout. Today, we're breaking down the exact 20-minute sauna protocol that top performers treat with the same seriousness as their morning routine or asset allocation. No hype, just the science-backed protocol, the mechanisms, and the precise way to integrate it so your health span and your wealth can compound together. Chapter 1. The Science-Backed Foundation. Most people overlook. Let's start with the data that turned sauna from a luxury into a non-negotiable performance tool. According to researchers at the University of Eastern Finland, in the large, prospective Kuopio ischemic heart disease risk factor study published in JAMA Internal Medicine, 2,315 middle-aged men were followed for a median of 20.7 years. Those who used a sauna 4 to 7 times per week showed a 40 to 60% lower risk of fatal cardiovascular events and all-cause mortality compared to those who used it only once a week. Specifically, the hazard ratio for sudden cardiac death was 0.37, a 63% lower associated risk, and similar protective associations were observed for fatal coronary heart disease and cardiovascular disease after adjusting for multiple lifestyle and health factors. A follow-up analysis of the same Kuopio cohort that included both men and women, published in BMC Medicine, confirmed comparable risk reductions for fatal cardiovascular events with frequent sauna use. Researchers observed that the heat exposure triggers physiological responses remarkably similar to moderate cardiovascular exercise: elevated heart rate, improved blood flow, and activation of heat shock proteins that protect cells from stress. A comprehensive review in Mayo Clinic Proceedings further highlights how these repeated heat exposures are linked to improvements in vascular function, including better endothelial health and blood pressure regulation. For high performers, this isn't about relaxation alone. It's about building a more resilient cardiovascular system that supports decades of sustained focus and calm under pressure. The exact conditions required to make the decisions that separate good portfolios from exceptional ones. Chapter 2. How 20 minutes of heat rewires your brain for clarity and resilience. The brain benefits may be even more compelling for anyone whose wealth depends on sharp decision-making. The same University of Eastern Finland research team later analyzed dementia outcomes from this identical cohort in a study published in Age and Aging. They found that moderate to high frequency of sauna bathing was associated with substantially lower risks of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, even after adjusting for multiple lifestyle and health factors. Men using a sauna 4 to 7 times per week had a 66% lower associated risk of dementia and a 65% lower associated risk of Alzheimer's disease compared to once-weekly users. These findings are supported by an independent prospective cohort study published in Preventive Medicine Reports, which followed over 13,000 Finnish adults and also linked higher sauna frequency to reduced dementia incidence over decades of follow-up. The mechanism? Heat exposure increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, supports better cerebral blood flow, and reduces systemic inflammation, all of which help maintain cognitive vitality over time. Supporting mechanistic reviews also highlight how heat stress promotes neurogenesis and protects against protein misfolding linked to neurodegenerative conditions. Post-sauna recovery also enhances brain relaxation and cognitive efficiency, according to neural imaging research. In plain terms, clearer thinking, faster recovery from stress, and a nervous system that stays regulated when markets, deals, or life throw curveballs. That mental edge is the hidden compounding interest high performers quietly bank on.
Chapter 3. The nervous system reset that protects more than money. High performers already know chronic stress is the silent destroyer of both health span and net worth. Sauna sessions activate the parasympathetic nervous system, lower cortisol over time, and improve heart rate variability, a key marker of resilience. In a dedicated study on acute sauna effects published by the same research group in Complementary Therapies in Medicine, a single sauna session transiently increased heart rate during exposure, but during the cool-down period, heart rate variability increased significantly, indicating stronger parasympathetic rest and digest activity and reduced sympathetic drive. Additional mechanistic work reviewed in Mayo Clinic Proceedings points to improved endothelial function and reduced systemic inflammation as key contributors to these autonomic benefits. The same heat shock proteins that protect the heart also shield neurons, creating a dual defense that keeps your biology operating at the level your ambition demands. Think of it as infrastructure maintenance for the most important piece of equipment you own, your own nervous system. When it's optimized, you make better investment decisions, negotiate with clearer judgment, and sustain the energy required to execute long-term strategies. This is why many elite performers schedule their 20-minute sauna sessions with the same precision they schedule board meetings. Chapter 4. The exact 20-minute protocol. Safe, evidence-based implementation. Here is the protocol distilled from the research that produced the strongest outcomes. Frequency. Aim for 4 to 7 sessions per week, the range repeatedly linked to the most significant risk reductions in the studies. Duration. 15 to 20 minutes per session at a temperature that feels challenging but sustainable, typically between 80 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit to 212 degrees Fahrenheit in a traditional dry sauna. Structure. 1. Hydrate thoroughly before and after, at least 500 milliliters of water with electrolytes. 2. Enter the sauna after a brief warm shower. 3. Sit or lie comfortably. Focus on slow nasal breathing to maximize parasympathetic activation. 4. Exit immediately if you feel lightheaded or overly fatigued. 5. Cool down gradually. A lukewarm shower or room temperature rest for 5 to 10 minutes. 6. Rehydrate and replenish electrolytes. Start with 2 to 3 sessions per week if you're new, then build up. Always listen to your body. This is not medical advice. Clearance from your physician is essential, especially if you have any cardiovascular history or are pregnant. Chapter 5. Turning sauna into a wealth compounding habit. The real power emerges when you treat the sauna the same way you treat your investment portfolio, with consistency and compounding in mind. Schedule it like a non-negotiable meeting with your future self. Many high performers stack it after their morning movement or evening wind down to create a seamless recovery ritual. Over months and years, the protocol doesn't just add years to your health span, it multiplies the quality of the decisions you make in every domain that builds wealth.
Better recovery means sharper focus. Sharper focus means fewer emotional trades, more strategic patience, and the biological capacity to stay in the game longer than your peers. That is the ultimate longevity wealth crossover.
Chapter 6. Actionable next steps you can start this week. 1. Book or confirm access to a traditional dry sauna, home, gym, or wellness club. 2. Commit to a minimum of 4 sessions this week, 20 minutes each. 3. Track 2 simple metrics: how you feel the following morning, energy and mental clarity, and your resting heart rate or subjective stress level. 4. Layer it with your existing habits. Pair with the breathwork or morning sunlight protocols we've covered in previous videos for a complete high-performer stack. 5. Reassess after 30 days and adjust frequency or duration based on how your body responds. Small, consistent heat exposures today become the biological edge that lets your wealth compound undisturbed for decades. The 20-minute sauna protocol isn't a trendy biohack. It's a time-tested, research-supported practice that high performers have quietly used to protect the one asset that truly generates and preserves wealth: a high-functioning mind and body over a long health span. This is educational content only, not medical or financial advice. Always consult your doctor and financial advisor. If you're ready to add this protocol to your stack, drop your current sauna frequency or starting this week in the comments below. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next evidence-based habit that bridges longevity and real wealth building. Your future portfolio and your future self will thank you.